Loretta, Knight of the Haligtree, is another outstanding horseback boss that utilizes significantly more magic projectiles. That's actually not poorly designed compared to the projectiles in the Red Wolf of Radagon fight. I finally get to present the Parrying Dagger that turned out to be in one of the caves I missed in Limgrave somehow. Thankfully, it's accessible early so I can try it out on the majority of parryable bosses. I originally wasn't going to parry in this fight because there's no riposte. However, the stagger from the parry is long enough to inflict a decent amount of damage, plus it made the fight a lot more fun. If only I had the parrying dagger sooner, so I could have parried the Draconic Tree Sentinel. My strategy, of course, centered around the parry stagger, landing a charged heavy strike and a running light strike. Then Loretta usually would follow up with a summon bow attack that I could just roll through. The beginning of the fight allows a charged heavy strike due to the cinematic magic jump. I just have to start running away immediately to avoid getting tagged. The first phase, glintblades, and the glintstone stars can be avoided by running to the side. However, once the second phase starts, the glintstone stars becomes more problematic in that regard, which is why I start rolling instead. I generally preferred a specific polearm animation to parry due to some attacks being very awkward, which is why you'll see me run up to just back off. To get this specific attack, I would keep my distance until the opportunity initiates. The second phase gets more aggressive, magic projectile-wise, with wider hitboxes because of the increase of projectiles. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this doesn't trivialize the fight with RNG like the Red Wolf of Radagon. The tracking is slightly increased, which is why running was no longer viable for me. There may be a specific trick to avoid it consistently because I did avoid those by running a couple times, but I'm not sure what I did differently. The second phase summon bow attack requires a slightly different timing to roll through, so that wasn't a huge deal but works very well when there's a combo of magic projectiles being shot. This, in my opinion, is how combo attacks should be handled instead of visually confusing the player with excessive attacks, including tiny evasion windows of opportunity from the boss. I really enjoyed this fight. There were attacks not presented in the footage, unfortunately, the magic enchanted polearm sweep attacks which were satisfying to evade, but it's unfortunate that they seem to have a somewhat low occurrence for some reason. I don't really have any significant problems with the boss itself, and it's probably one of the most solid designs in the game so far in my opinion. I do feel that the arena is too big though, and it could have been reduced about 50% without any issues.